Hey guys, it's cbgray coming to you guys live with Nerd Destiny video. How are you guys doing today? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Outbreak Perfected, but not only just the Outbreak Perfected, but how to get the gun itself, how to get the catalyst, how to do the jumping puzzle, how to get the configurations done, and also how to get the secret ship that you might not have known about that's called the Scrap. We're going to be talking about all of these different things. I hope it's informative and I hope it's helpful. If it is, hit the like button, and if you're new, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have your beautiful faces. Thank you guys so much for 50k, and here's to 100k. So let's go ahead and do this. So to start off your quest, there's a few things I just want to make sure that you guys have done. Make sure you guys have completed the original vanilla campaign. Know that you're not going to need to have any DLCs to get this weapon, which is awesome. So once you have that campaign completed, check and make sure that you've finished the Enemy of My Enemy quest on Titan. If you haven't, you can check with Sloan, and that quest might be in her abandoned missions. So just fly over to her and check and see if you have that mission abandoned that you can pick up. If you've already completed it, you're going to be able to skip this next step, but if you haven't, pick this up and follow these quest steps. It only takes about 15 to 20 minutes. There's just a few missions that you have to do, and once you complete it, you are going to fast travel to the rig, and you're going to follow my exact path right here. After you get your Fallen Transponder, there's going to be 6 places that you need to go. There's going to be 4 on the EDZ and 2 on Nessus. You're going to have to pick up all 6 of these items, and then you're going to be ready to get into the mission. So I'm going to show you exactly where to fast travel for every single place, and just follow along on the screen. After you collect all 6 pieces of note data, you're going to be heading back to the farm, which is pretty cool because I know you haven't been there in a while, and this is actually where you're going to be able to kick off the Outbreak Perfected mission. So when you head here, you're going to go to exactly where I go, and this is going to start off the mission. So after this, I'm going to be doing a live ride-a-thon with you guys and kind of going through all of my thoughts and all of the tips that I have for actually beating this mission, as it can be a lot. So just buckle down and let's jump right into this mission. A few things I want to preface real quick too before we jump into this ride-a-thon is I know that I have this stated as a solo guide for Outbreak, and I'm going to show you how I solo it and try to go as slow as I can to kind of give you a detailed explanation of how I do the things that I do when I'm doing this solo, but I do highly recommend that you do this with another teammate. And if you have your teammates watch this video and you guys both follow the strategies that I lay out in this video, you'll have no problem getting this done with even just one teammate. And if you have 3 people and use these strategies, I promise you will get this done with practice. But for the lone chance that you may not be able to get a teammate, this is how I'm able to solo it, so hopefully this will be able to come in handy. Also, thank you so much for watching, and you know that I love your beautiful faces. Alright, so here we go. I'm a little nervous about doing this ride along because talking live and explaining my thought process on Outbreak is going to be even harder to do than when we did the Whisper video. So hopefully I don't play like an absolute potato. I'll try to move as slow as possible and explain all my thought processes. So at the beginning of this room, I like staying in the back, and I like using my Jotun and my nades. I really don't use my heavy for this part, and I use this box as cover to start off. And I also want to say, excuse the controller noise. Sorry if that's loud. I'll try to do my best to edit that out. Some of these invisible martyrs are going to get kind of bold here, so I just Jotun them away. And sometimes this captain will get bold too, as he's doing here. Hopefully he doesn't kill me. Jotun him away too. I try to save my heavy from this beginning portion and try to throw as many nades and Jotun shots as I can. I get a lot of nades because of fallen repurposing mods, but if you don't have a fallen repurposing mod, just use your Jotun. It'll suffice. As you see, I still have all my ammo because I have a special ammo finder, so that really helps out a lot. On this first room, I like to try to be done with it around 19 minutes. So as you can see, I finished this room with a little bit more than 19 minutes. So that way we get into this room a little bit before 18.5 minutes here. So I try to clear out this room in a little over a minute. So I start off with these shanks that are in the back because they're really dangerous. As you can see, I'm already absolute. And then I'll kind of switch over to my Night Watch here. I love it because it's got overflow and explosive payload. I would recommend a long range primary weapon just so that you can take out those shanks quickly. After that, I get right back to the Jotun and the grenade spam. As you can see, this is going to be a common theme for this whole mission. So here we go. So let me just continue spamming Jotun, and then we're going to move on to these shanks that are around the rest of the map. So as you can see, once again, just spamming grenades. Take your time, make sure not to die. If you don't have extra grenades like I do, just keep using your Jotun. As you can see, I still have 10 shots, so I haven't thrown that many grenades. I've thrown a few, but I'm still going to shoot a decent amount of Jotun shots as well. Clean it up with a few scout rifle kills, and I'm just going to continue on with this trend. So as you can see, nothing fancy, some more special dropped, I'll pick that up. And I like to try to be done with this room around 17.5 minutes. So we cleared it out with that took just about a minute. So try to limit this room to about a minute and a half when you're trying to solo this. When soloing this, I recommend moving fast, but not rushing. And that's an important thing to distinguish because, if you rush, you're going to die, but you do need to move fast. So it needs to be at a controlled pace where you're not putting yourself in harm's way too much. Excuse me. Alright, so in this next room, I like to destroy all of these weaker adds with my Night Watch while hanging in the back. As you can see, it's not too hard to take out these first set of enemies. I recommend just doing this because if not, you're going to be getting pelted by all these enemies at the same time, because if you're in here by yourself, these adds aren't going to be shooting other teammates. They're all going to be aimed at you, which means you're going to die instantly. So now I pop my super here. Having fallen repurposing mods as well as having bottom tree with doom things does make my super last a lot longer than normal. But even if you use tether on this part right here, you should get a lot of orbs back if you have Orpheus rigged, or even if you just use like a warlock ad clearing super like Nova Bomb, you could probably kill a lot of these ads, or use well, or honestly whatever is you're most comfortable with on warlock. I've seen people use well or Nova Bomb. Some people use storm. I kind of like either using Nova Bomb or well, just because those supers tend to work really well in the boss room. So as you can see, I'm just doing as much damage as I can do with my super here. If you don't have a super that lasts this long, use Jotun shots here where you see me using my super here. So like these servitors right here, I would be Jotuning if my super had run out, but it didn't. So here we go. So as from the rest of this, I'm just going to keep burning my Jotun. I'm back up to 17 shots, which is the max, excuse me. And I just try to be done with these 3 rooms by the time we're at 15 minutes, which just means that I only took 5 minutes on the first 3 rooms. So that's what you're going to shoot for. It's going to take a lot of practice, but if you can get these first 3 rooms done with 5 minutes, you are going to be in business here. So you can see the tank is done. I think I saw heavy ammo, but I don't remember where. I'm just jumping up to check real quick. Usually check and see. I think when I was shooting those Vandals, oh, there it was, I just jumped. Yeah, when I'm shooting those Vandals, a lot of times some ammo will drop, and luckily, it looks like we were in luck this time. Luckily, it looks like we were in luck. I don't know if that even made any sense, but luckily we were in luck. Alright, here we go. So as you can see, on to the next room with a little bit more than 15 minutes left, meaning we took a little less than 5 minutes. So here, don't be sparing with your Jotun. I know I threw an extra nade, but just use your Jotun to replace that. For a lot of this, as if you see me throwing a bunch of nades, replace nades with Jotun shots. And if you don't have Jotun, I will make a guide on how to get Jotun later, but it's a quest from 801. You will need the annual pass to get it. Unlike, or not the annual pass, but I guess Forsaken now, because Forsaken guarantees the annual pass. So get Forsaken, you'll be able to get Jotun. In terms of Outbreak, though, you won't need Forsaken to get Outbreak, which is nice. I like how with Whisper and Outbreak, you don't need the DLC to get it. So here I continue on with the same trend. I'm using my scout rifle on the weaker enemies, and I like using my Jotun, as you can see, on the harder enemies. That shank that looked a lot like the saber from Destiny 1. Alright, so we're going to push forward here. We're making pretty decent time here, so I'm not going to use any more Jotun for the rest of this because I'm looking good here. I have full Jotun and I have full 21% Delirium, which is my heavy weapon. That's the Gambit Prime Pinnacle that I love using a lot as well. So the next best thing here is going to be just taking out everything with your kinetic. As you can see, I also had over 30 shots with my Night Watch. That's because this one is overflow. So when I walk over a special or heavy brick, I end up, and what were those shots? Oh my gosh. But I end up with over 30 shots in the mag if I walk over a special or heavy brick. That's why I feel like the curated role is unbelievable for this. But alright, here we go. And again, I apologize for the controller noise. I'm going to try to do my best to edit that out as as best as I can. I'm going to experiment a little bit, and you guys let me know if that ends up a little bit better, just in case another one of these missions come and I have to do this again. Alright, so as you can see, special galore. So it's good to know that our special ammo finder is working. I have that on my Doomfang pauldrons. Alright, so solo I like to try to be into the next room right a little bit less than 13 minutes. As you can see, we are on pace. I like to set little checkpoints for myself. It kind of allows me to know if I'm on pace. So if I was moving even faster, I probably would have been more at like 14 minutes, but talking and playing makes it tough. So I am going at a much slower pace than I usually go at so that I can kind of explain here. So I'm just going to keep trying to take this slow, but at the same time move at a fast enough pace where we don't end up failing because of it. So bear with me. Sorry that I'm not moving as quickly as you usually might see me on stream, but I'm trying to make sure I take my time here so we can explain every portion. So just follow the path that I'm taking here. It should make it pretty easy. I know that I'm moving a little bit, but just traverse these ways in the vents, and before you ever try this solo, just pay attention to what I do here. So now when I get out here, I like to switch to my Lion Rampants because I'm a terrible jumper and it just makes it easier. I'd recommend Stompies if you're on a hunter for this as well. Warlocks, you should be okay. So here we go. I'm going to push forward as hard as I can. Use my shoulder charge here in a second and push forward, and there you go. That's how you make it. This switch right here will actually unlock a platform that'll make it easier for your teammates to jump on, so I recommend doing that if you're in a team. I know I didn't need to do it because I'm not in a team, but I figure it might as well just so you can see where that is. So now after you jump through this vent over here, you are going to jump up. We're going to jump up again. You're going to stay on this right side of the wall when you come in the room too. Never need to go onto that left side of the wall. Right back to the right side. Once you're on this ledge right here, jump up to the vent, and this is your vent right here. So when you jump through one more vent, and you'll know that this is the right one. After this vent right here, you'll see that there's a door. Now we're in the fans, the legendary fans. So what you're going to do here is there's going to be a red opening in each side that will allow you to jump through and then land on the next one. So just take your time, jump through the vent, pulse your jump, and make it through. We'll do it again. Take your time, pulse your jump, and you're through. One more time, pulse your jump, slowly. There we go. And then you're at the bottom. So let's shoot through the vent. And then we are going to jump across, land here on this side wall. We're going to do it again, jump across, right back on the side wall again, and then one more leap of faith into this vent right over here. So this part isn't too bad. There's another switch again that'll help out your teammates. Hold square on that. It'll help you out and help your teammates out. I know that once again I'm not with anybody, but that's where it is. And then just keep following my path here. This is kind of self-explanatory here. You go into this crevice right in here, and we're back in the vents. I know it's a whole lot of vents, but it's a similar trend here. Lots of vents. So here we go. We are now in the legendary Trevor room. I like to be in Trevor. Anything above 10 minutes is fine. We're a little behind schedule because I've been moving slow, but that's okay. So let's just keep this up. We're moving on the left side first. I like following Trevor. And if you follow my path, you will never see Trevor. So this is important to make sure to do exactly what I do. I know a lot of people struggle with Trevor. You will not struggle with Trevor if you just follow everything I do here. So I grab the first switch on L1 first. Take a quick second here. This reminds me of the Darth Maul scene where they're waiting with the electric wall barrier. So I just sit here. You can get on your knees like Qui did back in the in that scene with Darth Maul. All right, here we go. So let's grab the second one. All right. And here we go. We're gonna now go backtrack. And we're going to go back and get R1. Alright. Boom. So now we backtrack. Oh, I backtracked a little too much. And we are going to go get R1. Here we go. And now we're going to go back and we're going to go get R2. I know what I'm saying R1 and I know I'm saying R2. And when I say those, I just mean right 1 and right 2. The first one I right, the second one I right. I like to take this time also to switch my armor back because I don't need Lion Rampants. You don't have to do this, but that's just what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm not even worried about Trevor. I'm switching my armor. I know exactly where Trevor is on the map at all times. So now we're going to move and we're going to grab R2. Boom. And you don't even really need to stop for it. As you can see, you can just keep running straight for it, and then you can just hold square or whatever you're on. Just hold whatever button it is. You should be good to go. Alright, you move on. We have one more Darth Maul wall that we don't need to wait for if we're fast enough, which we didn't have to. And then look at that. We never even saw Trevor, and we're into the next room. So there's elevators that you can take. I'll show you guys how to take those elevators. Not on this video right here. The only reason why is because I'm starting to be a little bit behind schedule by talking as much. It's a little harder when you're not 100% focused, but we're okay here. But I do just want to make sure that we stay on pace. But I will show you guys exactly how to do the elevators. So once you get to the top, though, of scaling that wall, which is a little bit of the harder way, but it is the quicker way, as you saw me just do there, you're going to drop down here, pace your full if possible, and then you're going to jump into this room or walk into the room, and then you're going to go into another vent. Surprise, surprise. We're dropping down. And we're in the vault room now. There's going to be a door right here at that emblem right in the bottom right hand corner. Just punch it or shoulder charge it if you're on a Titan. Do whatever. You'll be good to go. Now on this floor there is a secret pattern that you have to do when you're on the heroic. But when we're on the normal we don't need to worry about that path. So let's just keep pushing forward here. We're going to have just under 7 minutes when we drop down. Which is alright. We're just going to have to really make sure that we're doing well here, but I believe in the process, and I think we're going to be able to do this here. But so yeah, following this path will have us at the final room. So I know that felt like a lot, but now we are finally at the final boss room with 7 minutes to go. So let's go ahead and get started. I like taking all the dregs out and all the vandals out on the left side first. That's my main priority, as you see me doing. So I take them all out no matter what. So even if it takes me a little bit more time, these turrets have to go too. So I take those out with my Jotun, and I just try to make sure that everything dies. You don't want to leave a lot of ads because things are going to get overwhelming. So there was some special. I'm not going to grab that special though because it's a little dangerous. I'm going to grab the special those right here. I think I just got it. And as you can see, I have overflow again. So now I have almost 40 shots, which you can see how valuable that comes in now that we're in this final room. So I'm going to take out all these dregs, just like I said. You want all the dregs dead. Even if it takes a couple extra seconds, trust me, it's worth it. Because the last thing you want to do, you're going to have to kill every ad in the room on this mission. And the last thing you're going to do is scramble looking for all the ads at the very end if you do manage to kill the boss. One thing too to note too, so I use my Jotun in all these turrets because they're just extremely beefy. Don't get close to them or they will kill you. So now we're going to go ahead and grab special, and the next thing I like doing is clearing out any remaining dregs that I missed, and then we are going to start doing damage to the boss, who's now going to spawn a shank, as you can see. So I left one more dreg. I'm going to see if I can see him. I might leave him. No, we're going to get him. I'll just use one Jotun and get rid of him. I like getting rid of all those guys. So now we're going to do a little bit of damage to the servitor, and then I am going to pop my super here in just a second. But you're going to see first how I handle this. I like weakening each of the servitors so that I make sure that I can use my super for the whole time. Tether will also work great with this. Nova Bomb completely obliterates them as well. I'm going to get rid of these shanks over here because they just become kind of a nuisance, especially when you're soloing it. So now I'm going to shoot the boss again, because if I shoot him, he's actually going to disappear and go to the other side, adjacent to the site we're on right now. And I don't want him shooting me while I'm trying to take out those servitors. So I like spawning the falling boss, over here before I actually start killing the servitors. But I'm actually going to leave them alone because they're in a good spot. So let's go ahead now and use our super here and watch the magic here now with the way that Doomfang and having the bottom tree sentinel works here. So let's just go ahead and take out this servitor first. He's just about dead. Perfect. So now we're going to shift focus. Let's hope that I can throw an amazing shield here. Hopefully I'm not a potato. Hopefully I'm not a potato. Looks like we hit it. Perfect. So now let's see if we can make it over. We're going to kill a shank and take off its shield, because that's going to give us another shield for our super. Let's go ahead and do another one. We're going to go ahead and grab another shield in just a second from killing this shank right here. Here we go. And then we should be able to, with a couple shield bashes, take out this guy right here one more time. Done. Boom. Perfect. We still got 4 minutes, which is not too bad. The next thing we're going to do after we take out these shanks right here. Now, if you didn't take out those shanks or the servitor also, guys, the biggest thing that I can note is use your Jotun shots. Your Jotun shots will do the same thing that you see my super doing here right now. Jotun in about 5 shots will take out a servitor, so you can do that with both of those big servitors. So even though I died there, I wanted to just use all my super on the boss. So now we have about 3.5 minutes, which is alright, not too bad. Like I said, we weren't taking this super fast, so we should be okay. Now what we're going to do, let's move over to the right side, and you can also use your 21% delirium for this as well, or any arc weapon that you have to take out those shields extremely fast, like you just saw me do. And now the next thing I do is right back to the Jotun, guys. Like I said, it's going to be a familiar trend the whole time. Jotun, get his leg down, and that's usually what I like to do. I'll reload, make sure I have a lot of Jotun, and then once I do, it's right to the delirium. And then, as you can see, it does a ton of damage here. I wanted to grab that special just before he booped it away. Sometimes the tank will boop that special away, so I took a second to grab that. I'm right back on his leg. Don't even give him a chance to think about it. Broken again. We should be able to finish it out here in just a second here. Let me shoot. And he's gone. Boom. Grab that. Actually, I don't even need that special. I lied. We're going to move to the other side. Is that an orb over there? It is not an orb. Okay. Alright, I think I left heavy back here. I did. Okay, so also it's very important to pay attention to your surroundings. If you ever are dropping heavy or special, don't forget about it. Even if you're full on heavy or special, remember those placements on the map. It'll be important for later. So now we're going to do the exact same thing on this left tank over here. I like, once again, taking it out with, I'll do Delirium on this one. Delirium or Jotun works. Whatever one you have, I would use. And then as you can see, it works amazing on his crit as well once his leg is broken and his head is opened up. So let's just go ahead and destroy him. Just finish it off with Jotun here just so we can keep moving. We still have 1 minute and 57 seconds here, so we can still take our time. Not anything too crazy going on here. Just finish him out. We'll go reload on special here in a second. I know that we saw some special somewhere, so let's go ahead and reload ourselves on special, and it looks like heavy too. So that's awesome here. So let's go ahead and get reloaded. And then nothing left to do but take out this boss. So watch how Jotun will just start obliterating him. Also, another big thing to note is you don't want to kill every single mini ad, because if you do, it's going to spawn a new set of ads. So I'm going to purposely leave alive one ad, so it looks like it's just that shank alive. So that's the only thing that I'm going to leave alive. If I kill that shank, a whole new wave of enemies spawn. So guys, that is super important. Please do not think you need to clear out all the ads when you're fighting this boss. If you do every single one, you're going to fight a new set of ads. But as you can see, I only have one ad to kill, so he's the only one I'll have to clear. So let's keep using Jotun here. As you can see, we're doing amazing here. I might even get my super soon, which is awesome. Still have 54 seconds here. This is pretty good to say that we are moving pretty decently slow and talking through the whole thing. So here we go, another one. Boom. Missed it because he knows instant transmission. Feels bad. Let's just keep Jotuning. I think there's a little bit more special that I left. Let's do more. Looks like I'm not going to get my super, but that's okay. No worries at all. Keep it up. I just burned my last Jotun shot, which is an oof. But that's okay. No worries at all. We still have Delirium. And as you can see, it is possible to get this done while taking your time. At least for me, I pretty much took my time here. So this wasn't too bad. There is some heavy there, but it shouldn't even matter. Should be able to just take him out. Alright. Looks like he fell. That's pretty annoying. Alright, no worries. Go ahead and... Oh, he's actually dead. Even better. And then he's dead. And then that's all there is to it. So, we didn't leave that much time left on the clock, but I do like to think that this was me talking through the whole process and not really just locking in and not talking about my every single thought here. So this is how you can beat the Outbreak mission by yourself. Maybe if you guys ever check out the streams, you'll see how it is when I'm a little bit more, I guess, locked in or not saying my every single thought. But this is how I'm able to solo it without really having to go crazy. So when I'm doing my help streams, because I recommend that you guys come to the help streams, I help people out with getting Outbreak, and this is why it's not that hard for me to help two people get Outbreak, because usually when I have two teammates, I'm even more way actually ahead of the pace that you guys saw me on right here. So this is how you solo the normal Outbreak. We're going through here, and we're gonna take this elevator out. Okay. I'll be right back. So yeah, that's what I was thinking, Alien. Yeah, if I just have one for help, we'll be fine. Even just either way. Even if it sacrifices a little bit of time. Because I was probably on solo pace, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Yo, Eric, good to see you again, man. How you doing? Alright, we're going to jump up here when we get close. I'll let you know when to jump. We're going to jump onto this platform now. So right here. Perfect. Now that we've completed the normal Outbreak mission, I want to talk about the heroic version of this mission, because there's a ton of secrets that you're going to be able to get within the heroic version. One being the Outbreak Perfected's catalyst, which is an amazing catalyst. Another thing you can get is the secret ship. And so I want to talk about how we're going to be able to get this done. But before that, there's a completely different path for part of the mission. So I do want to show you what that path looks like. You can skip to the end of the video to see it on the Warlock and Hunter as well. I'm going to show it on my Titan right now, but I'll have timestamps so that you guys can find whatever you need for this video. So let's go ahead and show the path real quick. I do want to make sure to make things as clear as possible too, so let me go ahead and just touch on the whole story real quick, just so you know how to get your catalyst and how long it's going to take to get your catalyst and how long it's going to take to get your ship, just so that these things aren't kind of fuzzy. So essentially what's going to happen is once you do finish the Outbreak normal mission, on your director there's going to be a icon right here where you're going to be able to go into the 0 hour heroic. So the way that this works is if you complete the 0 hour heroic, you'll get an Outbreak Perfected catalyst. Now there's going to be two ways to charge this catalyst. Now you can either charge it by doing the heroic every single week for 5 weeks, every single reset, so 5 weeks and you'll get the catalyst done. Or you can do it 3 weeks if you do the configuration each week. If you do the void configuration, let's say, then the solar configuration, then the art configuration every single week. And I'm going to be explaining what the configurations are in just a second. But if you do the configuration, then you're going to get the ship schematic for the Outbreak Perfected mission. And if you do the ship schematic, if you do get it, then you'll need to do the configurations 2 more weeks in order to get the ship. So the way this works is you can get the Outbreak Catalyst in 5 weeks if you just do the 0 hour heroic 5 weeks in a row. You can get it in 3 weeks if you do the configuration each week, and you can get the ship in 3 weeks as well. So I just wanted to paint that picture very, very quickly, and now I'll explain how to get all of that. So how we're going to do this one is I'm not going to talk through the entire thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk in the points where I feel like it's going to be pretty helpful. So I'll go ahead and just interject when I feel like there's some things that'll be helpful for certain parts. The first biggest thing to note is that the heroic up until the first 3 ad rooms is basically the same. There are a few secrets that I'll talk about later, but in terms of killing all of the ads at the beginning, all of that's going to be the exact same. Where I started right here is where things are going to start getting different. So at the beginning, just make sure to continue using the steps that I listed out at the beginning of the video to get the ads killed as quickly as possible. So I'm going to freeze frame real quick right here. So basically I want to explain something very quickly. There's going to be 4 different levers that you're able to pull, and only one of them is going to be the correct one so that you can actually progress on this mission. So when you're dropping in and you're facing this exact direction, back right is going to be the way that you go to exit this area. And then the front left is going to be the switch that you need to get in order to actually progress in the mission. So when you drop down, you're going to want to go to the top left and pull the switch, and then after that you're going to exit back right. I wanted to show you both locations so you can see them both, but remember, front left when you're facing the pipes when you drop down, that'll be the switch you grab, and then you go back right the opposite diagonal to exit, and then you'll jump out and you'll see what happens. So once you make it to the vault room on the heroic version of Outbreak Perfected, there's only one more difference before you get to the boss fight, and that's that floor that was broke into cubes, or into squares I should say, there's actually a secret code that changes every single week depending on what the burn is for heroic, so whether it's solar, void, or arc, there's going to be a different pathway you're going to have to take in order to get to the end, and if you don't take that correct path, you're gonna die. And so I'm gonna show you guys all three of the paths and then how you apply that into your run so that you guys cannot waste, or excuse me, so you guys won't waste any time on this. And then once you do the correct path, there's a switch that you pull right after so that your friends won't have to do the exact same path that you did. So make sure you have one person at the beginning of the mission who already has these codes pulled up, as this will be very helpful. I'll have them here so you guys can use this video if you want to. Hey guys, so now that we talked about how to get the Outbreak Perfected's catalyst, I want to talk about how to get the famous ship for it, the scrap. So there is quite a few steps for this. It's going to start off by needing to collect a few different items. The first one being at the beginning of this mission. As you see here, I got my boy Veteran Guardian holding it down. He's going to be helping me go through this because I strongly suggest that you don't do this alone. So you're going to pick up what's known as the key card, or the keypad, excuse me. The art configuration one, as you see here. Depending on the week, if it's art burn, this will be art configuration. If it's void, it'll be void configuration. And if it's solar, it'll be solar configuration. This is going to be important because there's going to be 3 different configurations that you're going to have to complete in order to get the ship. So remember, when you start off killing the ads, you're going to want to grab this art configuration, and then there's going to be 3 locations that we're going to show you. So just follow along and we'll check back on you guys in just a bit. Alright guys, so once you clear out all 3 ad rooms, this is where you're going to actually start collecting the other 3 items that you're going to need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up this path that we're going to take, and I'd recommend if we're ever moving too fast, just go ahead and slow down the video and just follow along at the best timing that fits for you. So we're going to show you where all 3 of these items are now. Alright, so now that we've made it all the way to the end again, now this is going to be the room where we're going to be unlocking our exotic ship called the Scrap. And so what we're going to need to do here is we're going to have to solve a gigantic puzzle that's going to consist of 49 different kind of individual puzzles that we're going to have to solve in order to get the ship schematic. So it may seem kind of complicated, but I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can. But once you've grabbed all 3 key cards and the configuration, the way you're going to start this puzzle is going to be by hitting begin sequence when you walk in front of this. So this has now started this sequence, and so the way that best I can describe how each one of these individual blue and yellow, let's just call them rectangles, is going to be named is like a clock. So the way that this goes is this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And on each one of these, there's going to be 1 out of the 12 that is highlighted in yellow. That's going to be the number that you're going to need to remember on each one. So you have 2 circles per console. So let's talk about the consoles real quick. So our consoles numbers are the one that Veteran Guardian's on. This is console 1. The console over here, this is console 2. And then the console that I'm on, this is console 3. And so what's going to need to happen is we're going to need to call out the individual call out on each console in order to know which one of these consoles inside each individual room we're going to have to activate. So there's consoles in 7 different rooms. This is Scion right here. This is blue. This is purple. This is green. This right here is white. This right here is yellow. And over here, this is red. And so the way that we're going to know our callout is now we need to name each one of these individual callouts per room. So this is the red room. So what we're going to say for this one is, and just I'm going to do it as easily as I can, but the one in the back right, this is 1. This is 2. This console right here is 3. This one right here in the middle is 4. This one is 5. Then next we have 6. And then lastly is 7. So one more time just so it's clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here, 6, and then 7. And so basically I have a very easy site that's going to allow you to figure out exactly what you need to activate each time in order to get all 49 of these done. Each room has 7 consoles, there's 7 rooms, 49 total. And so what you're going to need to do is at least have 2 people calling out 2 of the 3 consoles and then plugging it into a site that I'll provide to you guys that makes this a lot easier than it was when we did it. And each time you do a correct console, you'll get 15 extra seconds on your time for Outbreak. That's going to be how you're able to extend this as far as you're going to be able to. So essentially what's going to happen is now Vet is going to make the first call out on console 1. The way that this works is he's going to read first off his left console and then his right console based on that clock-like sequence that I showed you. So let me show you one more time what this looks like. So as you can see, and let me go ahead and move my face cam too, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 12. So the way that Vet's going to read this, in our case right here, is going to be, 1 second here, let me go back to our screen. But so he's going to look and he can count slowly at first and eventually you'll get better at doing these, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this would be 8 on this first one, and then this one's pretty easy. This one's 12. So his is 8, 12. So what we do is we go navigate over to that site, and then on console 1, it would be 8, and then 12. And then let me make sure to choose the ARC configuration because we're on ARC. So 8, and then 12. And then as you can see, it already told us just based off veterans that it's white 7. So then all that we're going to do is we're gonna navigate over to, and let me go back to the screen so you guys can see it. But essentially all that you do now is you go to where white is, which this is the white room right here, and you go to white 7, you hold X or whatever your number is, and that's 1 right here. So let's go ahead and do one more real quick. All right, so let's go ahead and do another one. So let's go ahead and take a look. As we can see on this one, we have 12, and it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on console 1, we have 12 5s. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like real quick. So we're gonna put in a 12, and we're gonna put in a 5. And it's saying Scion 6. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we choose Scion 6. So we're gonna go back. Scion 6 is on the side with blue. It's in the back corner. Kind of have this memorized. Unfortunately, it's ingrained in my brain. And what did we said? Believe we said Scion 6. So Scion 6 is going to be right in the back left. And you can reference these pictures that I'm showing in order to make this very, very easy. So let's go ahead and let's do another one now. So the next one, let's go take a look again. We see that we have, let's do a count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like we have a 4, 6. So let's go ahead and put that in real quick. So we have 4, and we have 6. And it looks like it's telling us purple 2 for this one. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna look for purple 2, which is on the exact same side as the one we were on before. We're going purple and we are going 2. So remember to look at that handy graphic to see that 2 is front right. And you just did another one right there. And so the cool thing is too, is you can look at your quest and you can actually, if you track your configuration, so let's go into our quest real quick, you can actually see the progress that you're making on it by tracking it. So if you are to track it, then you can go into your inventory and you can see that we're at 3 out of 49. So there are a ton to do every single time you get more time. And if I wasn't in here doing this casually, we'd move a ton of, a lot faster than we are right now. So let's go ahead and do another one. So let's count from behind. We have 12, 11, 10, and then we have 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So it sounds like 10, 8. So let's go ahead and do 10 and an 8. So we have 10 and we have 8. And it's saying red 3 on this one, red 3. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna find red 3. Just all the way over here. And then 3 is this one right over here according to our graphic. And boom, another one done. This next one we have 12. And then we have, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like we have 12, 7 on this one. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna put in a 12 and we're gonna put in a 7. And then let's go ahead and clear our other ones over here. And this one's gonna be purple 3, purple 3. So let's go ahead and do purple 3. All right, so that's gonna be right over here. And purple 3 is gonna be right here. So let's go ahead and put that one in. Boom. Let's go ahead and do another one. And I know that you guys probably have this down packed by now, but I just want to make sure we're just driving home the point, just so you guys understand how this works. So we have on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in this one, we have 1, 2, 3. So we got 6, 3 for this one, 6, 3. Let's go ahead and back to our code. We're going to go 6, we're going to go 3. And it's saying white 1 for this one, white 1. So then you go over to white, which is right over here. And we said white 1, correct? I believe we said white 1, which is the top right corner. And so now I just want to show you guys what it looks like if you were to do one wrong. So if you are to do one wrong, you'll end up, let's just put one randomly on. It'll go red. And so essentially if one ever goes red, what you need to do is essentially unlock it by holding the button again so that you'll be able to do another code. You have, I believe like 3 or 4 times to mess up, maybe even 5, but I would try to do your best not to mess up. And this is going to be what you need to do. Once you have all 49 done, you'll get a ship schematic and I'll show you what that looks like. And I heard something. I got SIVA particulate 67 and a ship schematic. Okay, so what that did was wait, my quest is gone now. unless I got that in exchange for this.
You got a new one.
Yeah. Alright, so I just got the schematic. So void, configuration, research, solar, and art. Bro, we have to do the puzzle 3 times in a row! Oh my gosh, my big hype chat. So basically what you just saw is us completing the void configuration and getting the ship schematic that you saw me get. And essentially all that we need to do now is wait for the reset and then do it on arc and then do it on solar. So essentially you just need to do it on all 3 burns, do the puzzle 3 times, and this ship will be yours. And also, as you saw, I also got Siva Particulate, which was helping to progress our Outbreak Perfected Catalyst. So if you do this 3 weeks, you'll finish your Outbreak Catalyst in 3 weeks. And you'll get to grab this scrap as well, which is another nice thing to have as well. Another thing to note is that you can get the Quarantine Zone emblem by completing the 0 hour successfully with 5 minutes left to spare. So whether you do this in the heroic version or in the normal version, if you ever beat this mission and you have more than 5 minutes or 5 minutes on the dot, you'll be able to receive this emblem as well. Another really cool secret within this mission, and as you can see, this mission is full with secrets. So bringing everything home, you need to make sure you finish the enemy and my enemy quest on Titan. After that, you need to make sure that you pick up the fallen transponder. You need to take it to those 6 locations. After that, you can do the 0 hour mission that's on the farm. And when you complete that in 20 minutes, you'll get the Outbreak Perfected weapon. After that, you can get its catalyst by completing the 0 hour heroic mission. After you complete the 0 hour heroic mission, you'll have the catalyst, and it'll need either 2 ways to essentially happen to get it done. The first way is you can do it 5 weeks on the heroic and collect Siva Particulate every single week and get it done in 5 weeks, or you can do the configurations 3 weeks and you'll be able to get your Outbreak Perfected Catalyst done. If you do the configuration, you'll also be able to get the ship schematic, and if you do the ship schematic 3 times, if you do the ship puzzle 3 times, so if you do the void configuration, the arc configuration, and the solar configuration, you will get the ship. And so that is everything that is inside the Outbreak Perfected mission. I do hope this was helpful. Please get in the comments below and let me know what you think of missions like this, and what do you think of this guide style that I put together, where it has everything that you could ever need for this mission. Hopefully this was very, very helpful. Make sure if you need anything else, jump around to whatever timestamp you need. I really enjoyed making this, guys. Hope it helps out, and if you guys need any extra help, you guys can jump into our help streams. The goal is to help 600 people get Outbreak Perfected by the end of the year, so come stop by and we'd love to get you some help. So with that, I'm gonna talk to you guys in the next Destiny video. Thanks, I love you guys. Usually when I'm doing this on my Hunter, I'm on one of 2 things. I'm usually on Orpheus Rig, Tether, or I'm using Golden Gun with Celestial for boss DPS at the end. But you can also use Arc Strider, and I've seen it work pretty effectively multiple times if you're trying to be the member of your teammate, the member of your team that's keeping control of ads. So Arc Strider can work great for ads. Lastly, no matter what subclass I'm on, I like using triple jump with Stompies. I just feel like that gives you that extra oomph with your jumps so that you don't miss any of your jumps. On this leap of faith here, the key is not to jump off this ledge, but just let yourself fall off, and then once you're level with the bottom of this wall, what you're going to want to do is use your first jump and push yourself forward as far as you can, and then on your second jump, go ahead and push yourself just as far as you can again, and usually you can make this jump pretty easily. It does take a little bit of timing. The biggest 2 things that I can say is to make sure you let yourself fall off and don't jump, and then the second thing is you're going to want to push yourself very forward on both of those jumps. Make sure you have those Stompies on too. So how we're going to do this one is I'm not going to talk through the entire thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk in the points where I feel like it's going to be pretty helpful. So I'll go ahead and just interject when I feel like there's some things that'll be helpful for certain parts. The first biggest thing to note is that the heroic up until the first 3 ad rooms is basically the same. There are a few secrets that I'll talk about later, but in terms of killing all of the ads at the beginning, all of that's going to be the exact same. Where I started right here is where things are going to start getting different. So at the beginning, just make sure to continue using the steps that I listed out at the beginning of the video to get the ads killed as quickly as possible. So I'm going to freeze frame real quick right here. So basically I want to explain something very quickly. There's going to be 4 different levers that you're able to pull, and only one of them is going to be the correct one so that you can actually progress on this mission. So when you're dropping in and you're facing this exact direction, back right is going to be the way that you go to exit this area. And then the front left is going to be the switch that you need to get in order to actually progress in the mission. So when you drop down, you're going to want to go to the top left and pull the switch, and then after that you're going to exit back right. I wanted to show you both locations so you could see them both, but remember, front left when you're facing the pipes when you drop down, that'll be the switch you grab, and then you go back right the opposite diagonal to exit, and then you'll jump out and you'll see what happens. So I'm going to show you what not to do first. I feel like on a hunter it's very easy to gain momentum, so watch if I don't kind of stagger myself, what's going to happen. You're going to end up with way too much momentum. You're not going to be able to stop yourself from dying. I really wanted to show this because it's something that I always run into on my hunter, so I figured instead of just not allowing it to happen, just showing you what's one of the things that I struggle with and then showing you how to correct it. So once you make it to the vault room on the heroic version of Outbreak Perfected, there's only one more difference before you get to the boss fight, and that's that floor that was broke into cubes, or into squares I should say, there's actually a secret code that changes every single week depending on what the burn is for heroic, so whether it's solar, void, or arc, there's going to be a different pathway you're going to have to take in order to get to the end, and if you don't take that correct path, you're gonna die. And so I'm gonna show you guys all three of the paths and then how you apply that into your run so that you guys cannot waste, or excuse me, so you guys won't waste any time on this. And then once you do the correct path, there's a switch that you pull right after so that your friends won't have to do the exact same path that you did. So make sure you have one person at the beginning of the mission who already has these codes pulled up, as this will be very helpful. I'll have them here so you guys can use this video if you want to. When I'm using my Warlock, I like being on my Solar subclass on Middle Tree, basically on Well, just so that I can use the grenades sometimes if I'm ever struggling on my jumps to kind of hover in the air. I find this very, very useful, and you'll see me use this a couple times in the run. It really helps me out, but I've seen people use Arc and Void as well. Both can be great. Void can be great for Nova Bomb damage when it comes to the final boss, as well as Stormcaller being great in taking out ads, but I tend to only use Well or Nova Bomb. Those tend to be my tops, but whatever you're most comfortable with, especially if you have a full team, I think any can get the job done. So how we're going to do this one is I'm not going to talk through the entire thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk in the points where I feel like it's going to be pretty helpful. So I'll go ahead and just interject when I feel like there's some things that'll be helpful for certain parts. The first biggest thing to note is that the heroic up until the first 3 ad rooms is basically the same. There are a few secrets that I'll talk about later, but in terms of killing all of the ads at the beginning, all of that's going to be the exact same. Where I started right here is where things are going to start getting different. So at the beginning, just make sure to continue using the steps that I listed out at the beginning of the video to get the ads killed as quickly as possible. So I'm going to freeze frame real quick right here. So basically I want to explain something very quickly. There's going to be 4 different levers that you're able to pull, and only one of them is going to be the correct one so that you can actually progress on this mission. So when you're dropping in and you're facing this exact direction, back right is going to be the way that you go to exit this area. And then the front left is going to be the switch that you need to get in order to actually progress in the mission. So when you drop down, you're going to want to go to the top left and pull the switch, and then after that you're going to exit back right. I wanted to show you both locations so you can see them both, but remember, front left when you're facing the pipes when you drop down, that'll be the switch you grab, and then you go back right the opposite diagonal to exit, and then you'll jump out and you'll see what happens. So once you make it to the vault room on the heroic version of Outbreak Perfected, there's only one more difference before you get to the boss fight, and that's that floor that was broke into cubes, or into squares I should say, there's actually a secret code that changes every single week depending on what the burn is for heroic, so whether it's solar, void, or arc, there's going to be a different pathway you're going to have to take in order to get to the end, and if you don't take that correct path, you're gonna die. And so I'm gonna show you guys all three of the paths and then how you apply that into your run so that you guys cannot waste, or excuse me, so you guys won't waste any time on this. And then once you do the correct path, there's a switch that you pull right after so that your friends won't have to do the exact same path that you did. So make sure you have one person at the beginning of the mission who already has these codes pulled up, as this will be very helpful. I'll have them here so you guys can use this video if you want to.
My vision's equipped, they shot to the lip. Take out the coin, then I flip. Pull out the thorn, then it's ripped. Dragon tattooed on my hip, invading like my name is Zim. Dunking these moves like a rim. Yes, I am harder than Shin, making you pay for your sins. The drifter, the 9. Yeah, I'm rolling with them.
I'm not fine, I feel incredible. No, I'm not regular. Stand on a pedestal, joke is wild when he's off of his medicine. For my squad, I go hard like an animal. Buy guns, got your hand on the reticle, no trust. You need to go level a man down, but no, I'm not giving up. I think that I said enough.